darling, and welcome yet to another episode on my YouTube channel. I'm GladysNyambura, and if you are new here, please make sure you subscribe so you can watch this video and more to come in the future, and 180 other episodes that I've uploaded in the past. So let's get right into it. So today we are talking about relationships, friendships, and very red flags. And I'd like to mention that in this video I'll be talking about my experiences in friendships with both male and female individuals, and also in relationships, and as a result of why I had to end some relationships and stuff like that. So I have a list. I actually made a lot, and maybe this could just be like a part one. Let me just clip this in so we can get started, and I hope that you do enjoy this video. So on to the very first point. I actually started this analysis from when I was a young girl, and I just came up with I just reflected on why my friendships with either acquaintances or best friends, and maybe also in relationships, had to end, or I had to end some, and they also played a part in ending a relationship with me, which is perfectly fine because it's not a friendship if it's just one person. Yeah, so yeah, I'll just be so chilled and relaxed. So one of the reasons I've had to like break off a friendship was because my best friend had a best friend, and I don't know why people don't normalize this, but if we officially say that we are best friends, I don't see why you should have like another best friend. And I think that like another best friend in secrecy, and I feel like this, like for me, this made me feel some type of way. It made me feel unsafe, and so I had to end the friendship. I don't know what you think about that, but for me it's just a red flag. Because why is it that we are like formally, like, or officially, like we've talked and agreed that you're best friends, and then you go and behind my back you have like a best friend? It doesn't work like that. However, if we had met like 3 people and we declare that we are now best friends, that's okay. But and again, if you don't discuss with me that you want to like add another person into your life as a best friend, I mean, like, you could have as many friends, but as a best friend, just discuss it with me first, and then we'll see how it goes. So for me, I just felt unsafe because I thought that I was sort of like an option, and so yeah. And then, oof, I know this actually just this. Wow, the second one is I had like a best friend that used to insult me and then claim that it was a joke, and and to me, actually, the reason I was offended by this is because I'm a person that is very big on words of affirmation, and so if the opposite is delivered to me, if you're just giving negative vibes and stuff, I'll just sort of resent you. And so I had realized this with this friend. Let's call her Jane. So I'll not mention names, but I'll just give like prop names. And so Jane was sort of like delivering insults to me in the form of jokes. And I realized this one day when she was like, I don't know what she said, but then let's just give like an example, and let's say, oh, you look so ugly. It's a joke, And I mean, like, that's just an insult. like you don't say such things, like you don't do that with your best friend. Yeah, you don't. Me, like for me, that is a major red flag, because I'm a person that is full of positive vibes, and if you come in with your negative vibes, and I mean, like people have like depression and stress going on, and so if you're negative for a moment, I totally understand, but don't continually be like that. Change. Like I'm here to set an example for you. Change, because if you're in my clique, we are positive vibes kind of people. Yeah. Oh, and the third one was I had like a friend that always expected bad news, and I'll just not. This doesn't like apply to like the specific person. However, that taught me something about people. I realized that so with this specific friend, let's for a female friend, I'm going to call them Jane, and then for male, I'm going to call them John. And so for Jane, I feel like she was so used to like the bad news that, well, she had been telling me like worst things that had been happening into her life. And so every, like, it was, you know, like how they say misery loves company or something. Yeah. And so she was all about, you know, like always bad news in her life. Oh, my daddy died. Oh, my dog died. Oh, this happened. Oh, I don't have school fees and things like that. And so like when she tells me that, I'm feeding off her energy. And so every time something happened to me, let's say like I got a cold, we would talk about it, and then that's it. Like our friendship felt stronger. But then I realized that when I delivered good news to her one day, it's like her mood changed, and and that was so funny. Like the mood changed, and I felt like, okay, what's going on here? Is it that she's jealous of me, or two, is she that she's so used to our friendship being all about bad news such that she doesn't know how to comprehend good news? Or maybe like is her background just all about negativity and stuff like that? And so I realized I was in the wrong friendship. However, I tried to like sort of bring some good news, good energy, and like incorporate her into my life such that whatever good thing that was happening into my life, she would be a beneficiary. But wasn't she just wasn't like adopting into the new lifestyle, and I just had to let her go. Unfortunately, I've noticed that it's a thing, especially with friends, where when one is growing, some don't want you to grow. I don't know if it's out of jealousy or maybe the fact that they're not used to people growing, but you cannot stagnate in one place, you have to grow. Yeah. And so yeah, so this the fourth point was when I was in school. So we were from the very first point, and this is going to make sense. So like in the first point, if I said that my best friend, like we were just the two of us, had like a best friend that she wanted to keep a secret. And so in the fourth point, we were a group of 4 people, and we had agreed, like we had grown closer with each other, and with time, like it's just unspoken, we just knew like we were like in it together, we were close, we were best friends. And this had gone on for like 2 years. And so that's like I did not have like other friends. If I wanted to share something, it would be them. And so this gone like, I'll just start from the beginning. When I was younger, I have never been a person that really liked school that much, because I just did not see the point in going to school, because the things that we were learning, I did not see how they would apply in real life. It was just, and for me, like the thing that I did not like was the whole situation of like cramming and stuff. Yes, like I'm the kind of a person that has to like understand a concept so I can apply it. And so it used to like really piss me off when I ask questions and the teacher does not even understand the fact that for me learning is understanding a concept and not all about cramming. And so I never really liked school. Not when I was in primary, high school, or even tertiary. I never really liked school, to be honest. And so I'm in this institution. We are the 4 of us, and I had been like, in my entire life I've just been in and out of school. Like half, is it like quarter the time I'm in school, quarter I'm just not, or maybe like a big, like half the time I'm in school, half I'm not. And when I'm like half in school, it's just because I've been forced to be there. And so I remember during the in and out of school kind of situation, and also like other factors have always contributed to like how I handle education. I handled rather. And so I was in and out of school, and so I used to perform so poorly. And but with the time that I came into school, my grade actually improved drastically, and I got resentment from this group of 4 individuals. They were very happy that I was like, every time I would get out of school and then come back, like, and they were very happy that I wasn't attending school, and they would ask me how I'm doing, make fun of the fact that I'm not like delivering good grades. Because I mean, like, stuff that you're being taught in school, I wasn't there. And so for me, it's just to read my book, because the teacher will not understand that. I need to understand what's going on in the book so I can interpret it and have it as a concept to apply it in my exams and everywhere. And so they were very happy, and they would relate to the fact that I was out of school, and maybe like ask stories about my out of school experience. And most of the times I was actually sick while at home. And so what used to happen is every time I got back to school, my, like, specifically this time, my grades improved drastically, and I actually got recognized for good performance. And what did I do? I got resented by this group of people. Now there were 3. Yeah, a triple. So I got, no, triple. I got resented from this group of people, and that's when I knew this is not going to work. Because for me, like, they could not technically, like, literally they could not relate to how I have good grades, yet I'm not in school like most of the times. Unfortunately, that's it. And so the 5th point is, well, oh my god, so I did not break this friendship, someone else did. So in the 5th point is, a best friend broke up with me because I was needy and always wanted to do things together. Let me ask you, you are best friends, right? Or maybe like you've grown closer with someone that you feel like is a friend, right? And for me, for the friendship to like grow stronger, I always feel like you're my confidant, right? Well, for starters, the lady was my confidant. Like, I was her confidant, but then she was also my confidant. And so I always felt like there was need for us to like do things together, even if it's like go ziplining together. I always felt like there was that need. And maybe if it's cooking together, if it's, and like, I'm the kind of a person that, or maybe like take up a course together. I'm the kind of a person that wants my friendship with someone to be very beneficial. I want to grow with you. I want you to be in my space so you can grow with me as well. If there's good news in your life that's happening, I want to be a part of it and support. I could not, like, you don't have to be like there, like, I don't have to be like the main character in your story, but I just want to be like a part of it. And so she broke up with me because she thought that I was very needy of attention, and also the fact that I kept like pushing her to like doing new things. She was not open to that, which I do understand and I respect. Yeah. The 6th point was oh my god, this is some tea. Now the 6th point is, I used to, okay, we were newly into our friendship with a lady, and of course I easily trust people. And so when she came into my life, I was like, oh, you know what, it's been a month and I feel like I can trust you, so why don't I introduce you to my boyfriend? Which I did. Shock on me, mchezo wa town. let me tell you, I was just about to say, let me tell you, Mina, let me tell you, this lady came into, so like like on Friday night, I had like a small job. I was working like twice. It was like these promotion jobs in supermarkets. And so when she came into my life, I introduced her to my boyfriend that like a month later on a Friday, because on Friday nights my boyfriend and I would plan to like have movie night, and then just spend the weekend together, although not like the two, like Saturday and Sunday. Most of the time it's just be Friday and then Saturday, or maybe Friday and then skip Saturday. I go to my place and clean up, and then on Sunday I'm at his place so I can wake up and go to work. Yeah, on Monday. So I realized that, so when I introduced this best friend of mine to my boyfriend, so my boyfriend was back then was very cute. Okay, I believe that every person that you choose as a partner, you also look at looks, and so you wouldn't really go for someone that wasn't cute, you know, to your eyes. And so I thought my guy was cute. And so when I introduced her, and he was very modest. When I introduced her to this guy, and he had chums. And when I introduced her to this guy, she started behaving funny, and I noticed. But I wasn't really scared at all. And so I remember now, we spent the entire weekend at my guy's place. Well, on Sunday, I asked her to like sort of give us a little bit of privacy, which she did, and she went. I guess she went to like the supermarket or something, but we just wanted like the whole day to ourselves. However, she came back in the afternoon, and so when I went, like I just felt weird having her around my boyfriend. It just didn't feel right, you know. I felt some sort of betrayal was coming. Yeah. And so on Monday, when I woke up to go to work, she did not have a job. So on, like, she had just been laid off, and so she just like wanted someone to like, I guess she was looking for comfort. When I met her, she had just been laid off, and we started hanging out. I invited her to my place just once to like chill, watch a movie, because sometimes you need to have like your best friend in your own space to see the kind of person they really are. And so I left her at my boyfriend's place because I had to go to work first, and then my boyfriend would go to work like just later after me. However, my boyfriend was like, when is she going to leave? Because I'm going to work. And so I just told him that she's going through under so much pressure and stress because she'd just been laid off like a month ago, and my boyfriend was just cool with her. And so when I left the house, I knew that I was leaving this lady with my boyfriend, and a part of me was feeling betrayal from a distance, but then I trusted my dude. I trusted him a lot. And so it wasn't really about the lady. And so, long story short, when I came back, um, when I came back, when I left work in the evening and went back to my house, it turned out she was still at my boyfriend's place. 1 plus 1 is equals to 2. Yeah, and so it turned out like she had been sort of seducing him and stuff like that. And so for me, that I could not stand that. It's my boyfriend that told me about it, and afterwards the lady was behaving weird towards me, and she would like smack her mouth around me, and I was like, who is giving you this like courage to talk to, like this confidence to be like this to me? And so I had to like sort of kindly request her to like leave my house, and that was the end of our friendship. Of course, I see her. At the moment, she's a mother of 3. I see her around, but then we're not really close people, yeah, anymore. And I mean, like, when you have a best friend, or like when you have a close friend that is, seducing your boyfriend, just get rid of such a person, yeah. However, I'd like to mention that, yeah, 1 plus 1 is 2. Yeah, they did the deed, not when I was with the guy, but later, and one of the child is his. I don't even know how to, like, what to think, because initially it used to hurt, but then you come to realize that this is something that you cannot change, and it happened. Yeah. And so the seventh point is, oh, I'm just going to like combine the seventh and the eighth. And so this one time I was dating this guy, and the sister had been reading my journal, and I knew because my journal, like, I had the journal since 2007. I was because I just felt like I needed something to write on about my daily life, the things that I was feeling, and just express my emotions. And I had been journaling since 2007. And so, like, 10 years later, someone went through my journal, and I knew about it. This was my boyfriend's sister. Not really, not exactly 10 years, but like, let's say, sort of like, it's let's say it's like a journal that has, yeah, let's just give it, is it 10, 12 years? Yeah, let's say 10 years. And so, actually, 27 plus, yeah, let's give it roughly 10 years. And so this lady was reading my journal, and then I had like another, the eighth point was my best friend, not my best friend, but a friend like I had later also read my journal. I'm this kind of a person that does not like snooping. I don't like people that snoop around my house or around my stuff. I just don't like that, because I'm like, why are you all over my business? Don't you have a life of your own? And so when my boyfriend's sister read my journal, I knew about it, and she would use it against me, and I found that to be very stupid, and that's just not how you interact with people. And so in the eighth point, when this lady I was close with was like read my journal, she had become so close to me, but I realized that our friendship was just so she can benefit from what I had to offer, because I'd give her some money, blah 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 blah, and then like she would spend it at my place. When I'm at work, she's at my place, and then I'm like, I know, this is not working. And so what did I do? Oh my God, there's a plane. First thing, there's a plane. That's I don't know. I think it's going to the airport already, or maybe leaving to go to another country. And so when this lady who was trying to like get close to me read my journal, I was so pissed, because she read the journal, took pictures, and this is how I found about the pictures. A friend of hers like posted like a, what is it called, like a picture of, like a photo of the picture she had been sent by this lady, and I did not have any other person close to me that was coming to my house. And so she read my journal, took pictures of it, discussed it with friends, like with her friends. And that's why I just don't subscribe to the whole idea of, if we've defined our friendship, I don't see why you should be having other best friends. Like, just let me know the position I hold in your life, so I don't have to expect so much. And so when she did that, I felt very betrayed, because you don't do that. Like, it's journaling worth of 7 year, like 10 years. And this is stuff that I like, this is a safe space for me. I had been letting out my feelings, like from the very beginning, like from the moment I got my first period, blah 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 blah, from when I got my first boyfriend, blah blah blah, from how I felt about my day, from how I felt about certain issues. And you're busy here, like, from also like the things that I wanted in life, in a partner, and someone just comes in and turns that work into nothing. Betrayal. And so I had to just end that. And then the ninth point is the lack of vision. And I mean, like, if you're in a friendship with someone that does not have vision, just don't do that, because they will discourage every other vision that you have about your life, and you'll just end up being miserable and useless. Yeah. So on to the 10th point is, I had a guy friend that I was also friends with the wife, and so we were like, well, I was friends with the guy first, and then I met the wife through the guy because they were like married, come we stay kind of situation. And so at this time, so these two planned a robbery on me, which I later came to learn, because whoever it is that had tried to rob me was a friend of theirs, and so that kind of a friendship I could not maintain. So here's the backstory. I had just started like my small baking business, and it was doing so well to an extent that I used to do like small cakes and then have someone supply them to like the shops around the area I was living in, and the business was making bucks. And so what happened is, the guy was connected to was friends with the guy that was actually supplying to the shops that I was also supplying to. And so it was like some sort of major competition, and I've never like shared this story with anyone because I thought, why should I do that? And so it was a competition. And so I remember like I should have seen the red flags initially, because at one point I had just bought a phone. I had just like upgraded my phone from a specific brand to a better brand that had better camera quality, because I still wanted to do content. And so I remember when I bought the phone, they were like, you shouldn't have bought that phone. It heats up. Mind you, it's not a phone that actually heats up. There are phones that have history of like heating up, and especially when it's charging, or maybe when you're talking on the phone too much, or any phone heats up once exposed to like the sun, and it could cause damage. And so they were like, oh, you know what? It's not even going to last for long. And I was like, okay, did I even do something wrong to like when I purchased this phone? But then later on, it came to make sense. So when I was robbed on my way from collecting money from one of the big dealer shops, like it was like a mini mart that we had been supplying cakes to for like 2 weeks. They were paying bi-weekly, and so the owner, it was just like a small shop that had just expanded to like a mini mart. And so there wasn't like proper systems in place, and so she used to like pay me like bi-weekly. And so on this day I'm going to collect the money, and I did not even collect cash. So because it was just a matter of just signing and then signing, and that's it, and like confirming the sales, we reconcile, and that's it. And so I remember I was just on my way home, and it was just in broad daylight, and the person that actually robbed me, I'm just so grateful to God, because they did not harm me. All they did was take my phone. And so I remember I stayed for like without a phone, because I was like, the person actually sort of, they were trying to like be rough with me, but I'm a petite babe, like there's not much I can do to like defend myself. And so he just took whatever he could. He took the phone, and he took like the SIM card was in the phone, everything. I gave him the password, not the password to like to the M-Pesa, but just the password to like open the phone, and that was it. And so I remember like when I came to learn that it was this specific person, because after that happened, they were very close to me, encouraging me to like just like forge ahead and do I don't know what. And I thought, these are really, really good friends. And for a matter of fact, they actually gave me one of their phones to use, because I had just lost mine. You just can't be friends with such people. So cut them off. And then oh my god, so this is one of those things that you need to like really, really spot when it comes to men. I had like a guy friend of mine, or at least I thought we would be friends for longer. But this is one of the reasons as to why you need to evaluate how certain people think about women and what they think about certain topics. And for me, like in all these things that I'm listing, I had to like end some relationships, and I had to like, distance myself from some. And so with this guy, we were in the apartment that I was living, like my house number, he was staying like I was on the second floor, he was on the very first floor. And so I was just coming home from work, and the bus stage was like a kilometer from where I was staying. And so I really enjoyed walking from the bus stage to my place, because it was very safe. There were like people like on the roads. It was like there were vehicles and just street lights all over. And so for me, that was a fun activity to do after a hectic day from work. And so I remember on this specific day, it could have been on a Friday, I'm not sure. And so I had just alighted at the bus stage, and I decided, you know what, let me just take my 1 kilometer walk, because I really enjoyed it. Yeah, if you know me, you know, like I like taking walks because it's a moment for me to reflect, think, and stuff like that. And so as I was just walking, I noticed a small like a 13-year-old boy following me. However, he was running, and when I walk, and especially at night, I walk quite fast, not so fast, but let's say medium speed. And so he was just running. It's like he was exercising, and I thought, why not? Let me just give him space so he can pass and go. I did, and he ran in front of me, and I was so happy because I mean, like, to see a young boy exercise at night, I was so happy for him, and I thought maybe he's training for school. And I was very much encouraged to just see like very young boys doing that thing. And yeah, and so he ran, only that he reduced his speed, which was weird. And I remember when I go to, like, there's also like another bus stage. It's like a bus stop, but not the major. So when he got there, he stopped, and so I caught up with him. And so he was literally behind me, like 5 steps behind me. Like, he was bent as if he was taking a break. And I thought, it could be, maybe he's running like a very long distance, and this is his time to just chill. And so as I was walking, I remember he came behind me and spanked me. Yeah, he spanked me, and that was, and I felt, for starters, I think I was just in disgust, because this is a stranger. This is a stranger, a minor, spanking me. It doesn't make a difference if he weren't a minor. He spanked me, and then he ran. And as he was running, I was so mad. I felt assaulted, and I felt sexually harassed, because for a woman, if you're a guy and you're touching a woman's bum, that is harassment. Like, that is sexual. First of all, for starters, it's sexual. And I felt assaulted. And for me, it's the way that I processed that was, oh my god, this guy, like, this is a potential rapist. That is just how I processed it. And so I was very much eager to just, like, have this kid go, like, take him to cell, and maybe have some cops discipline him. And so I was in a trouser. And so let me just state that I was decently dressed. I was in a top, like a turtleneck, and then a trouser, and I had some simple flat shoes. I think they were rubbers or something, and so rubber shoes. And so I was just trying to, like, I called him out for it, and then I started, like, running after him, because I wanted to get the attention of people, so we could even if like the police station wasn't far away from the station. And so I wanted to just like have people gather around, not beat him up. I did not want mob justice on him because he's a young boy, he could potentially lose his life. But all I wanted was him getting discipline from the people that are supposed to be disciplinaries. And so I wanted him to like get like that proper, get talked to. If it involved like him getting some canes and maybe his parents knowing about it, I just wanted that from the law in Kenya. And so I was just running after him because I felt very disrespected, very like I felt assaulted and harassed. And I just like started running after him. And as I did that, I met this man. He could have been in his mid or late 30s. And I told him the situation, and I told him, please, if possible, is it possible for you to please just get that? He had just ran and then stopped. Is it possible for you to please help me get this young man to the police station? I had a little bit of money, and so I was just willing to appreciate him with it. Not that it's what he deserved. He deserved more for helping me, but it's just what I thought I would offer him. And so when when the young boy saw that I was actually talking to someone and have him get captured, he ran again into a darker place. And I could tell it was a dingy area because it was very dark, like no street lights. And so the man that I was talking to told me that just get over it. Get over it, and don't even go after that young man. He could be running into a very you could be running into a worse situation. I had not looked at it in that manner, and so I just stopped. And the last thing that he said was that is just something you could get over. It's not something major. Hiyo ni kitu kidogo. You can easily get over such a small situation, as if harassment can be quantified. And I was so angry, and I knew that when I get to my house, when I get to like the apartment that I was living in, and I go talk to this guy friend of mine that was on the very first floor, I knew that he would process the matter differently and sort of reason like me, and would probably give me comfort. I just needed comfort, and I just felt like I needed justice. Although no amount of justice, like, you cannot take away that which has been done. Like he spanked me. He like spanked me, and you cannot spank someone. And so when I approached this guy in his house, he was like, first of all, he laughed when I told you about the whole situation of the boy. First of all, he laughed, and secondly, he was like, that is not even sexual harassment, and it's not even assault. That is just a minor thing. It's just invasion of privacy. And I was like, oh my god, I cannot be in the same room with this kind of a person. And in that moment, I felt like he was actually literally accusing me of, I don't know, having an ass that someone could spank. And let me tell you, I had been walking on that street for such a long time, and nothing like that had ever happened to me, because I know people to be very respectful. And when he said that to me, I went on and began to be quite inquisitive of how he thought about women. And to him, women were just objects. And for me, I knew that it was highly time I distanced myself from this person. Like how you break off best friends and friends to acquaintances. He became one. And yeah. And then The next one is someone who's close-minded, like closed-minded, and this is based off of what you think about these specific people, especially when it comes to like the LGBTQ community, and then like what you think about certain topics. For starters, you don't have to think the way that I think. You don't have to do that. However, like there's a very thin line between being open-minded and also being ignorant. You just have to choose one. Like you cannot tell me that you don't like gay people just because you don't know all about the experience. Like you don't have to experience something so you can know about it. You like all you have to do is respect each person's decision. You don't have to accept. Again, you also don't have to dismiss. You don't have to be rude, and also you don't have to be you just have to find a balance. Yeah. And so when someone says that, I don't do that, I don't do that, like even if you haven't given something a chance, don't assume that it's what it is. Yeah. And so and also with someone that is close minded, I find it hard being around such a person, because as an individual, I'm always willing to learn. And so when I come into your life and you're just rigid, that it throws me off. And you don't have to be open to doing everything, but the fact that you could be having an idea, or maybe you could be willing to learn, sort of makes me want to be a part of your life, because the world evolves. Like this minute we could be having TikTok as the most downloaded or the most interactive application, and then tomorrow we have another app called Appy. You just never know. So that's embracing diversity, and the fact that keeping in mind that anything could happen and there are possibilities. Yeah. And then the other point is, do you know that thing when I said that your best friend could be having a best friend that you don't know about? Yeah, you remember that point? Now, I had this lady friend of mine that we were sort of 2 months into being close. We just met and we were just friends. And so I also had another guy that I was trying to bring into our friendship. And so I had not established boundaries, but let me just point out the fact that I have a toxic trait. I don't know how you'll perceive it, but one of my toxic traits, and this has come as a result of being friends with so many people. Oh my god, there's a bike that's making so much noise. This has come as a result of being friends with people and just seeing how much potentially I could get hurt or they could get hurt. And so, oh, I'm sorry for the noise. Oh my god. And so to avoid history repeating itself, I do this thing where, of course, I understand that human beings aren't perfect, but I do this thing where I sort of tell someone something that is very, it could be that is very personal to me, and then I don't tell it to anyone else. It's like basically planting evidence in someone to just evaluate how loyal they are. Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah. And so I remember with this lady friend, we were 2 months into the friendship with also this other guy, and I was just trying to make it work as a tripod. And so she had a best friend, she had not really a best friend, but a friend of hers that she was like close to. And I just one day I realized that if you indeed have a friend, is it possible for you to like bring them into this, or sort of like introduce us? We don't have to be like a quadruple, we don't have to be like close friends, but just that familiarity, yeah. And so one day, uh okay, a part of me felt like she was jealous of me, for I have no reason why. And so one day she brought the best, like I had just invited her over to my place, and she invited the best friend over to my place as well. And so we were supposed to like be 4 people making lunch. And so oh my god. And so when the best friend came over, like, well, my kitchen was like near, was just like at the entrance of the house. It was just at the entrance of the house. And so when she was just coming to the house, to the door, I don't know what they thought, but I was just getting some water. But they were talking, and she was like, I don't like her, and I want you to use this against her. Not the exact words, but the implication was that. And so what happened is, yeah, the friend came. I introduced myself, we sat down and we were chatting, blah 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 blah. And then the friend was sort of throwing jabs at me, like those insults, and then with a joke inside. Yeah, that kind of interaction. And I was just there. I'm this person that smiles throughout situations, and I could see through her eyes that she was just trying to impress this friend of mine, let's call her Jane. And I could see that she was trying to impress her by doing that. And I was just smiling and just telling her, "Oh, I like your hair, I like your clothes." Because like me, I don't feed off of people's negative energy. Like, it doesn't matter what you say to me. At the end of the day, I'll treat you the way I should treat every other person in my life. Genuinely, be it a relative or a friend, I'll treat you in the same way, and I will not hold you accountable for your actions. Rather, I will hold my friend accountable for the same, Jane. And so she pointed out something that, uh, like, she pointed out the evidence that I had planted in Jane's mind. And for me, that was a wrap. So to date, she still wonders how, like from that day, the friendship, like I just changed. Like, I still have her as an acquaintance, just not as a friend. But I cannot be in the same space with you with that kind of energy. Like, what are you trying to do? Clearly, you're you're headed for doom, and I don't want to be part of the doom story. Yep. Oh yeah, long story short, they are not friends with the lady that was throwing jabs at me. Insults in the form of, jokes. Yeah. And so, like, just about the same time that I was friends with this lady that had a friend that was trying to, like, talk down on me. A month like a month, we had just been friends for 2 months, right? And so I had to, like, back off a little and reduce the interactions that we had. And like a month later, I was having like financial crisis. And so when I'm having financial crisis, I barely talk to anyone. And that is also something that I should learn to, like, do. And so one of the times, so just about the same time, I hit rock bottom. And so I had been working a job that I had not been paid for 9 months. And so I could not hold things together anymore, because I had used all my savings, and I was just in a bad place. Yeah. And so when I wasn't paid for like okay, I was just in a bad place, but I could not tell anyone about it. And so when I hit rock bottom, and then the job ended, and then the compensation was not offered, like there was no there was nothing. There wasn't even like an agreement of maybe you'll get paid at this point, or maybe, and then like court proceedings are quite expensive, and so I don't have a job and things like that, and so I could not do anything about it. All I did was just go back to the same company, do like a little bit of follow up, ask like also like ask my colleagues like what the way forward was, but there was no clear direction. And so when I hit rock bottom, the lady reached out to me because she learned of my house being locked. Like a monitoring spirit or something. I don't like that. And so when she learned that, she was like, oh, what will you do? And then she was like, I was actually thinking about, maybe if you can gift me your couch, or maybe if you can give me some of your clothes, or if you can give me some like your cooker, or like your small freezer, like basically everything that you have in the house. Like she was targeting that. And when she did that, that's when I just cut her off completely. I see her around though, but now the next point was, I used to have this friend that was a copycat, like literally a copycat, and it can't work if someone wants to be exactly like you. It just can't work. And this, like for me, this is clearly someone who has identity crisis, and I cannot stand such a person. And especially if you're in your early 20s, yeah, yeah, maybe, but as you grow older, you realize that you just cannot handle such situations. You just cannot afford someone who is not pushing you forward, or someone who you're not inspiring, but someone who wants to be like on the same level with you, do everything as you. Nah. So with this young lady, what she used to do is, let's say we are sharing a story. Let's say I tell her, yesterday I went to watch a movie at IMAX, or maybe yesterday I went to KFC, or maybe I went to do something, or maybe yesterday I made bread in my house, or maybe like a very vivid situation, like I went on a vacation, and then with a friend of mine, and then we met another friend of mine called this, and then we went to their house, and then we went to swim, we ate this and this and stuff like that. So every single story that I used to share with her, she used to make them hers and share with other people. And so, and it's actually so funny because sometimes she used to also like share the stories I told her with me, and so it's like she's sharing a similar situation with me. And then when I tell her, yo, that's just the story I shared with you the other day, and then she'd be like, that laugh of you just cut me. Yeah, that kind of laugh. And to me, that's a very dangerous person, because I mean, like, what else are you capable of if you copy everything I say? There's no growth there. And so the other the other point is, a friend of mine was just cheating on her boyfriend, and she kept on apologizing and also like confessing to me. But you see, like, I'm a human being, I can't take this for so long. And so like at first, like when she cheated the very first time, she seemed to be very remorseful about it. But then I told her, no, you cannot proceed like this. And then I told her I did not tell her to tell the boyfriend, but then it continued with like different men, and I could not, like, that was a lot of pressure to me, and I could just not be in such a friendship. Nah, you can't do that. It's a mistake once, but once you repeat it over and over again, nah, it's a habit. And then I had a friend that did drugs, and then they like I have no I have no problem with someone doing drugs and whatever it is. You take your alcohol, take whatever you do. Just don't influence me into doing it, or maybe like try to like force me to be a part of your lifestyle. Don't do that. you and I are cool. You're living your life, I'm living my life. Mine does not have drugs and what in it, yours has. And so don't try to make me do the things that you're doing that you think are cool. Yeah. And then lack of financial literacy. Long story short, oh my god, I had a friend that we were going to the same job, like we were doing the same kind of work, same department and everything. We would get paid the same amount of salary, but then this friend would spend her money on, partying, clothes, buying, I don't know, fancy things. And then the good thing is she used to pay her rent. Yeah, that was the only thing that really saved her. But for the rest of the month, I was footing her transportation money, and she was also like coming to eat at my place. So at the end of the month, it's like on my salary I could like set aside 10,000 just for her. Just doesn't work. Get rid of such a person, or maybe enroll them to a financial literacy class. And then being selfish and disrespectful. For starters, I'm a very good listener, and so unfortunately I had to like sort of have a boundary in a relationship in a relationship that I was in with this guy that had been my friend. We were both friends, and then in a relationship which really worked well, because when the relationship ends, you fall back to the friendship, and then you make things work, which is a little bit toxic, but it works for some people who aren't toxic. Now this person, they could talk for like a whole 2 hours, and I'm just listening and giving my input. And then suddenly, when I want to talk about something I want to talk about, they just want listening, or maybe change a topic, or maybe zone off, and I'm like, come on. So I just had to, yeah, it's a wrap. And then the other point is the energy not being reciprocated. This happens all the time. Like, I'm the kind of a person that shows that I love people by going all out, what is it called, gifting, being there for them and stuff like that. But if the same is not reciprocated, I feel some type of way. And I mean that, like, when I'm being nice to someone, I don't expect anything in return. However, it doesn't take a genius to be grateful, or just try. Yeah. Yep. And then yeah, one of like the last reason, and I mean this could just be a part one, is in one of the instances, the my friend's boyfriend kept on hitting on me, and then when I told my friend, she said that it's impossible, or maybe I was just trying to like make up stories. And so in that instance, I had to like distance myself from the couple, not just one person, from the couple, because it would cause chaos, and I'd look like the bad person, and I would hate to make a fool of myself. And so yeah, I mean this could just be the very first part of relationship, friendship, betrayals, and red flags. Do let me know what you think about this episode. Have you had to like distance yourself or cut off some people because of minor or petty red flags? Let me know what you think on the comment section, and have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, or night, depending on the very time that you will be watching this episode. I have been your host, GladysNyambura. Bye.